after you create your test, you're always going to want to preview it first, just to make sure everything loads correctly, especially if you've created your own items. If you've put images or videos, Schoolnet supports that. You're just going to want to make sure you preview. So we're going to click Start Test Now, and we'll see this is the very similar layout to, when students take a standardized test. They're going to see the passage on the left, and they're going to see question on the right. Schoolnet does have the strikeout feature, which I think is a very nice tool to have. And they can remove that just by clicking on it again. Also has a notepad for them to, they have a highlighter, so I can built in and I can change the color. So over here on the passage, and then if I wanted to remove it, I just go over here and clear that. But you can teach them how to highlight and annotate text within the online setting. All right, so I'm looking, and I can look at both questions. I can also bookmark a question, so that'll alert the student, hey, you have a question that you've bookmarked, you need to go back to it. But as a teacher, I've looked at both of these items, they look correct, so I can just close the little preview, and then I'm back at my test, right? When I'm done editing, I click on that Return to Test Details. And then it's going to take me through my stages, right? So in Schoolnet, we have to go from private draft, ready to schedule, scheduled, in progress. So I click on the blue button to keep me going. And then that's going to have me say, okay, I'm ready to schedule the test, right? So at this point, now you have to give it a start date. All right, so the date you first want students to be able to take it, the last. On that test detail page, you can print an answer booklet. So if you wanted to give the test offline, you can. We also have Schoolnet with Schoolnet, which allows you to print pre-slugged answer sheets and have students bubble in their answers, and then you can use a scanner to scan it in, and Schoolnet will grade it. If your school happens to use the Toshiba copiers that are scanners, those work really well with Schoolnet. This is the passcode that students will need to take the test. So when they log in to the NCI Cloud, they click on Schoolnet, which is the red house icon for them, and there's a take a test window, and they just enter the code. So, and you can change this code. So especially if you're an elementary teacher, I recommend changing the random code. Save yourself a headache. If you want them to see how they scored on the test after they took it, you can check these boxes. One of my favorite things is this track and display student response times. That gives you a per question how long a student took to respond to that question. So if Johnny got 100 on the test and he took 5 seconds or less per question, I'm going to go look at Johnny and see, maybe he needs some enrichment. Maybe he had additional resources on the test that he wasn't supposed to. But on the other side too, think about all of our students that have test anxiety. This is a great way to kind of help them. Okay, you took 5 minutes per question, and then you gave up at this point. In the last 10 questions, you just answered in like 5 seconds. So it's really helpful information. You can scramble. You don't want to scramble question order if you're giving an ELA test, because that'll scramble passages. You can scramble answer choices, but do not scramble question order, or else you'll get your passages mixed up. The last thing you have to do is an assignment for your test. So your quick assignment is going to bring up your sections, right? So I'm teaching, this is a language arts test. It found my one section of language arts that I teach. Accept quick assignment just means, yes, I want to give this test to this whole section. If I wanted to give this test to just 5 students, I could go in and edit and give it to those 5 kids, but I'm just going to give it to this English section, and now it's assigned. And then I click Save and Publish. And now my test is ready to go, right? So it's being published. So I can make a copy of this test. I can delete it. You can only delete a test as long as no students have taken it. Once there's student data linked to the test, you can no longer delete it. And then here's where I can see those booklets. So if I wanted to print off anything, I could. So that has been a really quick overview of all the things in Schoolnet. All right, wonderful. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate everything, and look forward, if you have any questions, reach out to us, and if not, we will go ahead and end for the night. So thank you all very much.